Removed a little bit of periods today, but we focused on a little bit more of long drive periods. So we had some long drive periods in there, kind of test our guys' endurance. We have some long drives during the season that we want to be able to execute at a high level on. So go ahead and open it up.
Some contingencies on the interior offensive line already starting to have to be explored a little bit.
Yeah, I mean we're always alternating who our rotation is to make sure that we have great bodies up front.
Is Junior capable of doing the left side at this point? Do you feel?
He's been working more probably at the right than he has the left, but yeah, these guys are certainly able to work on multiple sides of the ball.
What have you seen from Makai since he's gotten? It's been a couple weeks since we talked to you about him, but how has that come along?
Yeah, I just think it's a long process when you haven't played football since you were in high school. So he's progressing, every single day, and got to see what it looks like for him long term.
The billboards with Bo in New York and Dallas, what kind of recruiting chip does that give you guys on the trail?
I think the biggest thing that proves is at the University of Oregon, you're going to have the opportunity to be recognized. You're going to be seen not just at a local level, but at a global level. I think that speaks just to the quality of the brand, how far it extends, and what it means.
What was your involvement in just approving it, the idea of it? What was your involvement of it?
Yeah, when it was brought to me, I said that sounds like an awesome opportunity for us to get recognition for our guys. Obviously, Bo's done a phenomenal job and deserves recognition as well as his team, right? But yeah, for me, more than anything, it's like, yeah, that sounds like an awesome opportunity for Oregon to be recognized at a national level.
Bo's not somebody that really carries himself with a whole lot of ego to him. Like, what was kind of his reaction to being presented in that sort of way?
Yeah, Bo's grateful for the opportunity. On the same note, that's not Bo's focus, right? Bo's focused on game one, just like everybody else in our program. He's focused on what does he have to do to perform better. But again, I think it leads back to when you come to a place like Oregon, you get an opportunity to be recognized.
How much was publicity and marketing a part of the pitch for him to return? Dan, going back to
that was just not really a factor at all for him. The factor for him is he felt like he had stuff that he could still accomplish here at the college level that he wanted to knock out.
After the first fall camp practice, you talked about getting the guys into football shape. How would you evaluate their football shape from that first fall camp practice until now?
Yeah, I'd say we're closer now than we were then, and we still probably got a little ways to go. That was part of today. That was part of doing some of those extended period reps where you're getting 15 play rep counts in one drive, right? And I think that was really important for us to see.
Can you go back to day one of camp? What do you feel like just has been the biggest improvements for your guys?
I think overall as a team we're tackling better. I think and then just really execution on offense, right? Recognizing and being able to execute plays at a high level, everybody knowing their assignment, their job, and still there's room for improvement in both those areas. But I'd say defensively we've tackled a lot better, offensively executing at a high level.
I know it may be a bit premature, but what are some of your early thoughts on Portland State from what you've seen?
It is a little premature. One thing when you play game once, who are you going to see? Who are they going to be? Each team is different, especially in college football now, from the last year to next year, right? Now, I will say this. I have a lot of respect for their coach and their coaching staff. They've been there for a long time. They have some continuity there. There's been some moving parts, but they do a good job, and they do have some explosive players on their team.
Insofar as you can address things in an offseason, Dan, by way of personnel and on the field of practice defensively, how do you feel about pass rush, third down, situational awareness, the areas that you were trying to address all offseason, and how prepared you are to address those and the progress made there?
Yeah, I don't know if you'll ever know exactly where you're at until a game, kicks off. But I certainly think that those are places that we've improved.
Heard a lot of really good things about Blake Burgess. I know he wasn't here in the spring, but have you seen him kind of hit the ground running getting here in the fall?
Yeah, first day, it's like he's trying to figure out where to line up, right? But when you let that guy go, he's got explosive power, he's got quickness. He's got a want to be better, and it's certainly showing up on the field.
Here in the last week of fall camp, where do you think you're better than you were at this point a year ago?
Just knowing what's next, right? Knowing what's next. Being prepared for the next moment, the next day. What do we still need as a team? Being able to operate with that mentality.
Evan said Colin Gill was one of the freshmen who had kind of a couple wow moments on Saturday. Where have you seen him progress? And I guess he's safety, but played at Warner High School.
Yeah, and he's probably working more at star for us more than anything right now. He had a couple interceptions on Saturday, which is pretty impressive for him. Still, at times, got to figure out where he's supposed to line up, but he's a guy that's a willing tackler, willing to hit, and he's done a good job when the ball's been thrown his way.
What's kind of the plan for the next 4 or 5 days? We don't get to see practice or anything. What's just kind of on the docket before week one starts?
Yeah, well, tomorrow will be an off day for us. It'll be a little less intense, more meeting time, right? A chance to really recover, and then we'll kind of hop into game prep for Portland State.
I feel like we've been asking you the same questions for like 8 months. Just how excited you are, what are you maybe looking forward to about finally getting into game week?
Yeah, just touching the grass, right? We're ready to hit another team. You know, it's been a long time, you know, going back to the very end of July to right now where you're playing the same team every single day. There's some challenges presented when you get to practice against something you haven't seen every single day or play against something you haven't seen. So there's a lot we haven't seen, and when we get to go out there for another opponent. But part of that, the fun in that is preparing for that. What do you think you might see? What do you think might show up? And then how do you prepare for that moment?
At what point will you guys inform players where they're out on the 2 deep or depth chart? What does that process kind of look like for you guys?
Yeah, we don't spend a lot of time on it. Like, you know, right now, as far as like red shirting, not red shirting, all those things, you get 4 games, you get the postseason. Like, we want to go in the mentality to go play, right? A guy can go down at any single moment. At any moment, a 2 or a 3 can become a 1, right? So the reality is for us is how many guys can we get ready? Not, okay, you're here. It's okay. Let's get you both ready, and then let's see whose opportunity comes. The more players we have that can play at a starter's level, the more guys that'll play.
What's Khalil Lawrence's status at the moment?
He's on the team. He's practicing. Yeah, he had a family emergency. He had to be out of town now. He'll be right back today.
Since January, the focus has been on Oregon. Now looking at it, you only have a couple days left of practice before you start finally focusing on another opponent. Just what are the areas that you really want to be more confident in heading into finally looking at another opponent? What are some areas you want to clean up maybe?
Yeah, just crisp operation, right? Like you can't have the MAs, you can't have some critical mistakes where not everybody's on the same page. You know, if you have 11 people playing the wrong call, but they're all playing the same call, you got a chance, right? It's the same on offense and defense. So we got to be communicating really well going into game 1.
We can tell Laszlo you want to head to the tattoo.
We'll see.
What's the plan? More final scores or more kids?
Focus on now. Focus on now.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.